Oh, hello, Tashi Dele.
Tashi Dele
Tashi Dele, Tashi Dele. Today I almost become late. How are you?
We're all good, Geshe.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Oh, you got nice dog. Carla, nice dog. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So we start. Yes. First of all, welcome back to the session.
Geshe, welcome back.
Yes. Thank you. Oh no. Yeah. Today is a lot of things going on. Okay, I better stop this one. Okay, now done. So, yes, a lot of distraction. And today the subject is going to be shamatha. They shouldn't have distraction. So it seems like things are not really happening what's supposed to happen. Anyway, yeah, so maybe for you, maybe you already settled yourself in the present moment, but I need a moment to settle myself. So what we do is we take a few moments to do some breathing exercise and sit comfortably. Yes, so do breathing exercise, yeah. Now take a moment to refresh your refuge practice. With the vivid visualizations of Guru Buddha Dharma Sangha, then there you generate stable conviction in their enlightened capabilities and generate sincere devotion and get inspired. Then oneself aspire to be just like them. To do that, then start with cultivation of aspirational motivation to follow the example of Buddha Dharma Sangha, Guru Buddha Dharma Sangha, is to carry the altruistic intention to make our actions which are most virtuous, and that what means by in following the footsteps of the triple gem. So in that way, then set altruistic motivation for rest of our existence, in particularly for all this life. Then all the actions of this year, this month, this very moment, in particularly this very session, to be complete cause for numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of full enlightenment. Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonan La Janju Bado Dani Jazoje Daji Zoje Be Sonamje Rola Benje Sangye Dubarai Jo Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonam La Janju Bado Dani Jazoje Daji Zoje Be Sonamje Rola Benje Sangye Dubarai Jo Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonam La Janju Bado Dani Jazoje Daji Zoje Be Sonamje Rola Benje Sangye Dubarai Jo Kange doze ne zone dawa damje bambejre dambe jene denze ba godam de la janze lo tonye nyenje zondo jube lama zeje zenje kanje dende ge chana be mo denzen jazo la sowa devzo da ju jinje lo semje damje dewa dan deve judan dembra juje semje damje dunga dan dunga je judan dabra juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa juje semje damje nyire chadan nyidan dawe danyon la nebra juroje Semje damje dewa dang dewe judan dembara juje semje damje dunga dang dunga je judan dawa juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dang mi dawa juje semje damje nyire jada nidan dawe danyo la nebara juroj semje damje dewa dang dewe judan dembara juje semje damje dunga dang dunga je judan dawa juje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dang mi dawa juje semje damje nyire jada nidan da danyo la nebara juroj Okay, thank you. Yeah, so in the last session, we have completed the teachings of the higher capable being, the Mahayanic Dharma, especially focusing on the what qualified to what qualified to be means of Mahayana, or what qualifies to be means Mahayanic Dharma, which is the which emphasize from the method aspect of the path, and that is the altruism, the bodhicitta. So we have discussed elaborately, and if you wish to read more elaborate commentary, then you can refer to Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim teachings, in particularly Great Lamrim. In English translation, that published by the Snow Line, on the second volume. Yeah, on the second volume. So you can read that to go through a detail. But at least from this course, at least to understand the word, the meaning of the verses, which capture in the which capture in introducing the characteristic of altruism, and how to develop that, and what are the benefits by doing so, etc. So so most important is the prerequisite or the condition to develop bodhicitta, and we have discussed that elaborately. And among the prerequisites, the main technique to develop bodhicitta, the 7 causes and effect, and the 4-point transformation, 4-point training, and these are very important to keep in our heart. And on the basis of that, when you refer to any other teachings, then it will be easier to digest. If you refer to other texts in relation to any form of Buddha's teaching, in particularly the Mahayanic Dharma. When the Mahayanic Dharma is whatever text you read, whatever teaching that you refer to, is very much emphasis on the bodhicitta. So whenever we talk about bodhicitta, that we need to have the idea of the 7 causes and effect and these 4 points of training. Then, of course, the definition of bodhicitta. So in anything that without knowing the characteristic or definition, we will not know what really we are pursuing for. So then, in general understanding, the main cause is love and compassion. And also to know the definition of what means love, what means compassion, etc. So anyway, we have already covered that. So today, another very big subject. We may not able to go through very detailed, but at least I try to, give you the brief explanation of the verses. Again, when we refer to the Lama Tsongkhapa's Great Lamrim, then extremely detailed there. So which texts are available, and you can also read from there like that. So we are on verse 34, which the subject discuss on the shamatha. Shamatha. From the overall Buddha's teaching, which consists within the 3 higher trainings, the practice of 3 higher training, and the higher training in higher higher training in higher perception, which is referring to the shamatha mind, is the second the higher training. The first one is the higher training of morality. Then second one is higher training of concentration. And the third one is higher training of wisdom. And the teaching that we discuss of the small capable being and the middle capable being, including the teaching that we discuss in relation to the method aspect of the part of the Mahayanic Dharma, is very much included within the higher training of morality. Higher training of morality. And now the chapter of the shamatha is the higher training of the second one, the concentration. So we're going to talk about that. The verse 34 says, all Buddhas say the cause for the completion of the collection, whose nature is merit and exalted wisdom, is the development of higher perception. So all Buddhas, past, present, future Buddhas, say the cause for the completion, completion, the completion of the two perfection, which is the perfected quality of perfected quality for the benefit of one's own enlightenment, and perfected quality of the benefit of numberless other sentient beings. Enlightenment is the 2 bodies of the Buddha. The form bodies of the Buddha, and the wisdom bodies of the Buddha, and the form bodies of the Buddha. So these 2 are called the completion. Completions of one's own benefit, one's own ultimate benefit, and completions of the benefit of numberless other sentient beings. You see, so the wisdom body, the exalted wisdom body of the Buddha, is the highest thing to be achieved for one's own benefit. When you achieve that, you are enlightened. You have no more faults. When you achieve the Buddha's form body, then you achieve the entirety of the complete tools to offer benefit or offer benefit of ultimate enlightenment, ultimate liberation to each and every other sentient beings. So so the main cause for this 2 completion is the 2 collections of merits, which is the merit of method and merit of wisdom of the collections, whose nature is the merit and exalted wisdom. The merit is merit of method. The merit we accumulate through cultivation of method aspect of the path, such as any of the merit that we accumulated through cultivation of from the 3 higher training. The first 2 higher training, we accumulate the merit of method. When we accumulate the merit in relation to the 3rd higher training, the higher training of wisdom, we accumulate the merit of exalted wisdom, which are the cause for the 2 completion. So when we observe any of the moral discipline, starting from practice of refuge and all the individual liberation vows that we discussed before, and including Bodhisattva vows, Bodhisattva practices, including cultivation of love, compassion, bodhicitta, will accumulate the merit of method. Then when we practice related to emptiness or selflessness, then we accumulate the merit of wisdom. So these 2 are the main cause to actualize the to completion. But in order to, so you see, is the development of the higher merit and exalted wisdom is the development of the higher perception. So to accumulate effectively these 2 causes for the 2 ultimate result, very much serviced by the higher perceptions, means the higher concentration, the shamatha mind. So by developing the shamatha mind, then we the practitioner are able to accumulate pure and great amount of merit, and that way the result of the 2 accomplishment will be achieved swiftly. As long as we don't achieve the higher perception, our ordinary mind, our ordinary concentrations remain in the most, insufficient and distracted state. So until we achieve the shamatha mind, our minds are in total distraction. You see, so in this distracted mind, whatever amount of practices we do, whether we cultivate method aspect of the path or wisdom aspect of the path, we cannot achieve, genuine result or effective result, or it will take a lengthy time to achieve the benefits. So that's the reason why it is so important to develop the higher perception. So higher perception here is talking about the shamatha mind. Yeah. So even in our ordinary, pursuit of knowledge, when our mind is distracted, it's difficult to fulfill the pursuit, isn't it? So especially to do with the higher wisdoms and the higher wisdom and higher attitude, like bodhicitta, with the distracted mind, our practices won't be effective. You see, so also because of that. So now, before before we go into the further discussion on the higher perception or shamatha, it is beneficial. It is important to know the definition. What it mean by higher perception. What it mean shamatha. So. So the great Pandita Kamalashila in the first stage of meditation says, the nature of serenity is nothing more than a one-pointed mind. This is the general characteristic of all meditative serenity. So it is a one-pointed mind. So from here we can understand roughly what really the serenity is, what really the shamatha or the higher perception is. It is one-pointed mind. So again, the word has to be interpreted. One-pointed mind referring to the one-pointed mind to the virtuous object. Mm. Uh, and here, in accordance with the Buddha Dharma, then one-pointed mind is referring to the one-pointed mind towards the Dharma virtue. Then, in particularly in relation to Mahayanic Dharma, in accordance with Mahayanic Dharma, one-pointed mind is referring to one-pointed to the Mahayanic Dharma, the wisdom of emptiness, that which infused by altruistic attitude, which infused by bodhicitta intention. So in another word, one-pointed concentration to the emptiness, that which infused by bodhicitta. So generally, whether, because the shamatha is the common path to both Buddhists and non-Buddhists, so non-Buddhists also practice the one-pointed, single-pointed shamatha practice. So the shamatha practice, to be qualified to be, Buddhist level, then the object of the one-pointed mind has to be Dharma virtue. Just ordinary virtue is not good enough. You need to have a Dharma virtue. So, and when we talk about Dharma, that which include within the method aspect of the practice and the wisdom aspect of the practice. So general definition is one-pointed mind. So, so when you relate to the Mahayanic Dharma, then we have to immediately remember that, it's talking about one-pointed to the emptiness wisdom. The object of one-pointed meditation or shamatha meditation is talking about emptiness, and that emptiness also that motivated by bodhicitta. So that has to be understood. Yeah, the reason why it is like that. The purpose of shamatha training is to develop the exalted wisdom. And that which will effectively, swiftly able to deliver the completion of the exalted wisdom, the Dharmakaya body of the Buddha. So that is the main reason. In Lamrim, the purpose of shamatha practice is to develop special insight. Then, since it is for purpose for develop special insight here referring the serviceable mind, that which is capable to focus on the wisdom of emptiness, on the wisdom of emptiness, which based on the shamatha serviceable mind, and that is the special insight. So without the special insight, without the practice of special insight, the practitioner won't. The practitioner will not able to eradicate the defilement to omniscient. Defilement to omniscient. So the whole purpose is to achieve Buddhahood. Then, in order to achieve Buddhahood, you need to purify the defilement, the obscuration to omniscient. In order to purify the obscuration to omniscient, you need the purification tool, the antidote. The antidote is the emptiness, and that emptiness also the highest level of the sharpest state of wisdom. So the sharpest state of wisdom of emptiness only can be able to achieve on the basis of the most trained or most focused mind, which is the higher perception or the shamatha mind. Oh, yeah. So verse 35, just as a bird with undeveloped wing cannot fly in the sky, those without the power of higher perception cannot work for the good of living beings. So Atisha here explaining the reason, the importance of need to develop shamatha or the higher perception. The first two line is the reason given based on example. The second two line is the reason given based on the meaning. So the reason given based on example is just as a bird with undeveloped wing cannot fly in the sky. So so the meaning, those without the power of higher perception, those without the power of tame mind, which is the shamatha mind, or single-pointed concentration capability, then cannot work for the good of living beings, meaning cannot deliver the practices of the sixth perfection efficiently and effectively, because practice of six perfections are the tool to bring benefit to sentient being. Practice of six perfection are the way how the practitioner develop towards becoming Buddha. You see, and as mentioned before, on the first verse, in order to achieve the Buddhahood, you need to accumulate the two type of merit. And the two type of merit, as we discussed, the merit of method, and merit of merit, and merit of wisdom. And merit of method, or the merit of merit, which also used as a term merit of merit, accumulate through the cultivation of first five paramitas, the practice of first five perfection. Merit of wisdom you accumulate from the number six paramita, or number six perfection, the practice of six perfection, you see. And these are the way to bring benefit to the sentient being. So without the proper higher perception, or without the capability of concentration, then we won't able to perfect the practices of the sixth perfection. So if we are not able to perfect the practice of sixth perfection, no Buddhahood. So Buddhahood is also in one way none other than achieving the complete perfections of the sixth perfection, or like that. Yeah. So then verse 36, the merit gained in the single day by those who possess higher perception cannot be gained even in the 100th lifetime by one without such higher perception. So this is the benefit, the importance of, we need to develop shamatha, the single pointed training. So this is the reason, you see. When we from the self-liberation perspective, let's say as a Buddhist practitioner that aspire to actualize self-liberation, either following hero's path or solitary realizer's path to achieve nirvana peace, even just for that, require immense of accumulation of merit and immense of accumulation of wisdom. Is it without that, even the self-liberation also, it will take lengthy time to achieve it. Even for that, the tool or the quality of the higher perception, the single-pointed capability is so important. So then no question about to actualize the highest state of liberation, that which is so beneficial for rest of the numberless sentient being, then we need to accumulate, three countless eons of merit. So can you imagine, even someone that who already achieved the Bodhisattva's attitude, if you don't, if you don't equip with the exalted wisdom that supported by higher perception, it takes 3 countless eons of time. Just from the time, it takes 3 countless eons time to complete the merit, complete the merit. So therefore, with the higher perception, um, then utilize the wisdom in the highest tool, including tantra. Without the wisdom, without the concentration, and without the wisdom, we no way able to practice perfectly, effectively the tantric practices, which has the capability to deliver enlightenment within one lifetime by accumulating 3 countless eons of merit within just short period of time. Even within one session, there's a possibility of to do that. But then to achieve that, the basis for all this benefit is the higher perception. So therefore, the merit that you accumulate using the tool of shamatha, then cannot that merit is immensely surpassed than the merit that you accumulate for a long time without the basis of high perception. Yeah. My late guru mentioned many times that if you really want to bring effective benefit to others, effective benefit from Dharma, then put effort to develop shamatha. And Kyabja Lama Sobarimbache, during few audience, Rinpoche always emphasize, always advise, any time that you get free time, put effort to develop shamatha. And this way can able to bring effective benefit to sentient being. So these are just just one, two example that that these great gurus have emphasized. And when you look into the treatise of the great master of the past, then all the masters talks about the importance of training in concentration, like that. So at the initial level, of course, we can at least train as a preliminary stage. We can train using ordinary object. But then someone there who already introduced to Buddha Dharma, then in the teaching emphasize not to use ordinary object, rather use some virtuous object, like such as Buddha's image, such as the Buddha's aura, the light, such as mantra, like syllable Om, or the sound of mantra, or the letter of the mantra, by training, focusing on that for 1 minute, 2 minutes, as much as possible. Then you accumulate merit because of the object is virtue, object is Dharma. At the same time, this will prepare us eventually for us to get into a proper, training of shamatha. Proper training of shamatha. And those serious practitioners, especially some of you are from Dharamsala, you have stayed in Dharamsala. There are retreaters that happen in the past who have meditated there to gain shamatha, and even today's time, there are individual practitioners that who are dedicating, many years in the conducive places to gain shamatha, even though it is not easy, to conduct this retreat. And we will talk broadly about the conditions for this practice later, but at least someone who was having all the conducive conditions, then if you practice diligently, there's a possibility of even achieving the shamatha realization within 6 months. There are such also like that. So anyway, so verse 37, those who want swiftly to complete the collection of full enlightenment would accomplish higher perception through effort and not through laziness. So, so those who, so in order to actualize the shamatha, one need to put immense of effort. And one of the main obstacle is laziness and distraction. So need immense of effort. Here, the meaning Lama Atisha is emphasizing about the 8 antidotes and 5 faults, which after I finish the verses, I will introduce those at the end. So here you're talking about the 5, mainly all the obstacles include within the 5 faults, and all the antidote, include within the 8 antidotes. Or otherwise can be understand that the main antidote or the method to actualize shamatha is the mindfulness and introspection. And as far as concerned, the obstacle that include within the distraction and laziness, distraction and laziness. So in order to overcome these 2 obstacles and actualize these 2 methods of mindfulness and introspection require immense of effort. Verse 38, without the attainment of the karma avoiding, higher perception will not occur. Therefore, make repeated effort to accomplish karma avoiding. So again, here on verse 38, can understand the higher perception is referring to the shamatha mind. The special insight. You can refer to the wisdom of emptiness. The earlier, the higher perception can also interpret, in the wording, there's no specific word of shamatha, so therefore interpret as that is referring to the shamatha. But if there's a wording of karma avoiding there, then the higher perception can refer to the special insight or the wisdom of emptiness. So in the verse 38, the karma avoiding is referring to the shamatha or single-pointed mind. The higher perception is referring to the special insight, the mind of special insight, or the wisdom of emptiness. So without the attaining karma avoiding, so higher perception of exalted wisdom will not occur. So therefore, make repeated effort to accomplish the karma avoiding. So a repeated effort, repeated effort. Yeah. Okay, maybe not it here. Okay. Then verse 39, while the conditions for karma avoiding are incomplete, meditative stabilization will not be accomplished, even if one meditate strenuously for thousands of years. So again here, with the while the condition for karma avoiding, so the condition. So there are many conditions. So without completing those conditions for karma avoiding, then the meditative stabilization. So in fact, meditative stabilization and karma avoiding is referring to the same thing. But then since these both words used here in the same verse, the karma binding can refer to the process, process of training in the karma binding, the karma binding, the process, the mental process of process towards the absolute, the shamatha, is the karma binding. Then meditative stabilization is the final result, which is the actual shamatha. So the shamatha, the training is based on the development of the 9 stages of the mind, the 9 stages of the mind. So after the 8th stage, the karma binding here can refer to that after the 8th stage. Then meditative stabilization can refer to the 9th stage, which is the result. You see, so because of the using, the different words in the same verses, I have to explain that way. So as far as concerned with the condition, I will again go through more elaborate later. So there are prerequisites, external prerequisites, internal prerequisites. Then also all the methods, like such as 8 antidotes, such as understanding of the clear, the 9 stages of the different mind of the karma binding. Then the conditions of 6 forces or the 6 power, the conditions of the 4 attention or 4 focus, so all these need to equip in order to success in the process of karma binding to deliver the actual shamatha, which is the meditative stabilization. Otherwise, we'll not accomplish that. Even if we, focus on one object for consistently for thousands of years, so we need to know the correct technique. Otherwise, just by focusing on one object, that is not good enough. So as it says here, that will not deliver. That may be able to help you to stabilize your mind, to stay focused on something. You may be able to gain single-pointed mind, but one will not able to gain the actual shamatha. So what we really need is the meditative stabilization, which is the shamatha mind that can be used for the effectiveness of the utilization of wisdom, realizing emptiness in order to eradicate the defilement. So until we achieve that meditative stabilization, then any capability of focus is not good enough. Verse 40, thus maintaining well the condition mentioned in the collection of meditative stabilization chapter, place the mind on any one virtuous focal object. So, the Maitreya emphasize the 6 different conditions, but here Atisha is referring to the his master Buddhibhadra's collection of meditative stabilization chapter. So I think there's 9 different conditions, 9 different conditions that mentioned in a collection of meditative stabilization chapter by Buddhibhadra. So Atisha is citing that. So in order to actualize the shamatha, you need to have in those conditions. Otherwise, even for thousands of years that you train in just focus on the object is not good enough. It won't be effective. So the first, the condition is eliminating the negative doings through our body, speech, and mind. So we need to abstain from negative doings. Then the second condition is to get well study on the prerequisites as well as the process of the 9 stages of the mind to train in shamatha. So need to learn well on the topic of shamatha. So that's why, as I mentioned before, this is a big subject. Yes, based on the Atisha's lamp for the path is more of introduction. So someone who have a great interest in this practice then should study even further. And there are many different texts, by many different masters on the shamatha teaching, but easy to understand and well researched, and at the same time effective, instruction is Lama Tsongkhapa's great Lamrim. Like for me, that is the easiest and easiest ways to understand the well, elaborate, but at the same time very easy for us to understand. So you can refer to the Lamrim Chenmo on the translation version, the third version, the third volume. Then the third condition is strict moral discipline. If someone want to train in shamatha, the moral discipline is most important. So even from the 3 higher training, as mentioned before, the higher training of higher perception is the second one. The first one is the higher training of morality. So the higher training of morality, higher training of perception, higher training of wisdom, they act as a cause and result, cause and effect. So without the cause of morality, there's no possible to have a result of higher perception, isn't it? So from here we can understand one of very important cause or condition for shamatha is moral discipline. When we talk about moral discipline, again, you refer to all the teaching that we discussed on the small capable beings path, middle capable beings path, and the method aspect of the Mahayanic Dharma. From basic observation of the 10 virtues and refuge practices can go, extend all the way up to the observation of tantric vows. So if someone can able to observe all those vows, all those precepts, then you train shamatha, it will be the most conducive person, most on the basis of that, it would be most effective. Yeah. So moral discipline is extremely. Then the fourth condition is that taking all the knowledge that you learn from Dharma from the very beginning, introductory Dharma, to up to the learning that you have until that you are inspired to trained in shamatha take as an antidote to eliminate samsara and its causes. In another word, the purpose that you get, purpose of gathering all the conducive condition to pursue shamatha is for liberation, not just to space out. If you pursue shamatha just to have some sense of, basic inner peace or space out, because the concentration is so beneficial for that, then it becomes a distraction. It becomes obstacle to the completion of shamatha practice. And many do that. Many practitioners there who gather, most of the condition, but then because of, each time that you achieve certain degree of taste of single pointed practice, feel so bliss, feel so good, then you're stuck there. You just remain in that level, not pursuing liberation, that means not really progressing effective towards the 9 level of shamatha. You are like already like at the first or second or third level, when your mind is like getting away from certain gross distractions and start to settle, and you enjoy, and you just remain there, stuck there. It happens a lot. So therefore, specifically, when you from motivation, and whenever that you gather the conditions, and even right after end of the session of your training in the shamatha, making sure that it become antidote to the samsara and its causes, and it become the cause for liberation. This is one of important condition. Yeah. Then the 5th condition is a strong renunciation towards overall samsara. So the earlier one is, aversion to the samsaric pleasure in particularly. Very much talking about equipping the certain degree of antidote towards the destruction of samsaric pleasure, including the pleasure that you achieve from to be able to be in certain single pointed state of meditation. The second one, the fifth condition is to equip the antidote to the laziness or the dullness. You see, so you need to have some sense of how to say, again, when we meditate, when we start to do single pointed meditation, sometimes it's so comfortable until you fall asleep, until you knock off, and practitioners do carried away by that, because you can sleep so well because of single pointed meditation, because you can rest so well, so therefore you get satisfied that, and very much like you train to get a good sleep, you train to get a good rest, you see. So there are such dangers. So we have to be we have to practice, even it calls sleep, to make sure that is not to develop deeper dullness, rather to get awake from the dullness. You see, so this too can be understand. The earlier one just mentioned, the earlier one, the fourth, the condition is the developing the antidote of mindfulness. the fifth one is the antidote of introspection, because introspection mind helps to save our mind from drowning into dullness. Of course, it also helps from all the distractions, from all the obstacles, but in particularly from the dullness. The reason is introspectory mind is very smart mind, very alert mind. So the mindfulness is very settled mind, very settled mind. So therefore, if there's a lot of distraction of samsaric pleasure, so when your mindfulness strength is strong, then can able to subdue our distracted, too much uplifted mind, too much excited mind, you see. So it's also talking about mindfulness and introspection. Then the sixth is all the time remembering the benefit, the advantage of shamatha, So as we talked before, enlightenment won't be possible without shamatha, The thing is, in order to enlighten, in order to get enlightened, you need to accumulate, store 3 countless eons of merit, the merit of method and merit wisdom. In order to do that, we need to have an effective, exalted wisdom of emptiness. But that effective exalted wisdom only can able to achieve using the shamatha mind. Otherwise, not possible. So therefore, shamatha is most needed. Even at the initial stage, in order to develop all this higher benefit, require immense of merit. The greatest merit when we are able to achieve is when we have shamatha mind. Otherwise, as mentioned before, even thousands of years, you practice, the merit is so little. You see, so we have to remember that. We have to remember all these benefits. So this is one of very important condition. Then the seventh condition is the effort. Consistent effort. The practitioner who train shamatha meditation, when there's no consistent, maybe certain time pick best quality of meditation, but then you interrupt the sustainable session, then the benefit won't be there. You will lose the momentum. So shamatha training, you need a sustainable momentum. Doesn't matter how lengthy meditation you do, how well you do, but you need sustainable, consistent meditation. You see, so like many of us, we don't have all the conducive condition, in particularly to do with the time, isn't it? To really go to the cave or retreat hearts and to dedicate at least 6 months. We don't have time. That doesn't mean we lost the opportunity. We can start to train, but we start to train from today, that do 5 minutes of single pointed training. Let's say focus on Buddha's image or focus on syllable Om. But that has to be consistent every day. You do diligently for 1 month, but then next 1 week you take off, then it doesn't benefit. So you have to be consistent, like that. So that requires immense of effort. In the effort also, joyous effort. On the basis of knowing the benefit, then there's a sense of joyfulness, willingness, not by force. So it's not easy to get that point. In order to get to that point, we need to remember the benefit. We need to remember, and also practically have some experience. When we do genuine meditation, we can experience the benefit, and those are the reason where you can able to get enthusiastic kind of effort, joyous effort, especially joyous effort. Then the the eighth condition is accumulation of merit, accumulation of merit and purification of negativities. So this is one of very important condition. So all the time, accumulate as much as virtues as possible and purify as much as negative as possible. Then the ninth condition is, we already start to train even before we have gathered all the rest of the condition, but at least the basic understanding of what means for the shamatha is to get some habitual training to your mind in focusing, in the training of single-pointed meditations. As I mentioned before, using Buddha's image every day, take 5 minutes to train to shut the destructive, the gross thoughts, and try to train to stay focused single-pointedly, using more meditative state of mind, meaning more constant, more how to say, not sensual, not focusing on sensual object, focusing on mental object. So the number 9 condition, the final condition is, we already start to train to use mental pictures mental picture as object to train focus. Because up to now, most of us, we do some single-pointed training, but mainly focus on the sensual object, sensual object, like looking at the picture, listening to the sound, etc. So we need to start to focus on the mental picture. You see, so the mental picture of the Buddha's image, mental picture of the sound of Om. You see, so we have to first differentiate that. You see, so mental picture of the sound of Om. Just to get that point, you have to go more settled state of mind. You see, otherwise we are still using the sound that carry very, very superficial imprint that we carry in our ear. You see, so this condition is important because this condition helps to get to the meditative level. So when we train the shamatha, we have to we cannot use sensual object. When we actually progress on the 9 level of shamatha training, we have to use a mental picture. The sensual object is sensual image is not no more useful. So as mentioned before, the one of the technique to develop shamatha or the higher perception or the karma writing is the 8 antidote and the 5 faults. By equipping 8 antidotes and eliminating the 5 faults. And that, and according with the Maitreya's teaching on the separation of the middle from the extreme, is stated like this: staying with a joyous perseverance, your mind becomes serviceable and you attain all goals. This occurs as a result of eliminating the 5 faults and relying on the 8 antidotes. The 5 faults are laziness, forgetting the instruction, laxity, excitement, non-application, and application. The 8 antidotes are the basis yearning that bases on it is effort, the cause confident, the effect pliancy, not forgetting the object of meditation, recognizing laxity and excitement, and application to eliminate them, and calmly stabilizing your mind when they have been quelled. So basically, this is talking about the 8 antidotes and the 5 faults. The 5 faults, first one is the laziness. Second one is forgetting the object of the chosen meditation object. Then the third one is the dullness or the laxity and the excitement, the distraction. Fourth is non-application. After you focus on the object of meditation, then you get distracted, you lose the object, and you are not putting effort to regain your focus onto the chosen object. This is called non-application. Then the fifth one is over-application. Over-application means after you realize that you can be able to stay focused, then making unnecessary unnecessary how to say expansion of your training on the focus on the object, the chosen object. An example, when object of your meditation getting clearer in your meditation, then you make it even greater emphasis to make it even clearer. And by doing so, generally it's good, but for shamatha meditation, it become obstacle. Because shamatha meditation, whatever amount of clarity that you have chosen at the beginning, clarity, the amount of the object that you are focusing, whether it is characteristic or colors, like such as colors, qualities, whatever you design at the beginning, that has to remain until to the end of the session. So this is different from any other meditation. Any other meditation, whether do with the sutra or tantra, the clarity and the clarity of the object expand, during the meditation. You start to expand it is amount of the characteristic, the magnification of the characteristic of the object of meditation. But then for shamatha, for karma-biting meditation, that become obstacle. So you have to fix, the amount of the focus that you want to focus at the beginning, and train to remain in that focus without any elaboration until to the end of the session. Let's say it's just focusing on the Buddha's one eye, then until end of the session, that has to be, your dedicated focus. By focusing later, you are so inspired and Buddha's eyes start to blinking at you, then you are so happy, now, my meditation is must be getting so good because Buddha's eyes start to blink at you. Or then actually occur obstacle for the shamatha training. So you see, so if about to blink Buddha's eye, then you cannot emphasize on that. Rather, you try to stay still focused on the initial dedicated object. So this is what talking about over application. Then the another the side of the over application is after focusing on Buddha's eye is so comfortable, until you start to like kind of totally dissolve into like completely nothing, no thoughts. When there's no gross thoughts, you feel some sense of like comfortable, isn't it? When you start to sink into sleep, it's very comfortable, isn't it? So when you concentrate, there's a lot of, even from the very beginning, there's a physical and mental fluency. It's kind of like a comfortness, mentally kind of settledness, physically kind of, calmness, kind of settledness, restfulness may occur. So when you start to occur that, then try to sing onto that, then that is over. You are doing over. You are not staying in the dedicated object to be focused at the beginning. So this is called over application. So in order to overcome these 5 faults, so the 8 antidotes. First one is a faith. You need faith. Faith that gained through understanding the advantage and disadvantage of shamatha. So without that, that will occur a lot of obstacles, like obstacles of giving up at the end. The laziness may occur. So faith and aspiration. So you need faith and aspiration. So that is the first. Faith from the 8 antidotes: faith, aspiration, perseverance, and plancy. So 4. So these 4 are the antidote to the laziness. Then a recollection of the mind of recollection. In other words, is mindfulness. So you need mindfulness, which to antidote to the forgetting the object of meditation. Then vigilant introspection, which antidote to the laxity and excitement. Then application, which is antidote to the non-application. Then equanimity, which is the antidote to the over-application. So these are the 8 antidotes. So when we learn about shamatha, this you have to know. This have to know. In fact, in Maitreya's, the presentation, shamatha will achieve on the basis of eliminating 5 faults and actualizing the 8 antidotes. This much. So as long as we know this, we basically know, the precondition, what to do about the training in the shamatha. So as I mentioned before, the 6 forces, 4 attentions are actually included within that, within these 8 antidotes. Just expansion only. So yeah. So 5 faults and 8 antidotes. So keep that in mind. Okay, then the another precondition that already covered on the initial verse. Atisha referred to his master, but in generally, most of the treatises refer to the Maitreya's, the ornament of Mahayana Sutra. So even though the numbers of the prerequisites, Bodhibhadra is 9, as far as kind of the Maitreya, consists of the 6. So the actual meaning is the same thing, you know, is the same thing. But it's good to know that what might have said. So Maitreya have cited like this: in the intelligent person's place of practice, things are well found and sight is good. The ground is good. They are good friends and the tool for the practitioner's happiness. So this is the quotation. So that very much talking about the 6 preconditions that require to do a proper shamatha retreat or shamatha training. So first one is dwelling in the appropriate place. So that is very important. That's why, you know, go and choose a conducive place like a retreat, you know, like caves and huts, you know. Even in the monastery, many practitioners, they don't find the monastery as a conducive place. And you can see that in Dharamsala, many, you know, they flock to Dharamsala, go into the jungle, and in a very, very humble, you know, retreat huts, you know, they train there, you see. And there are many practitioners that they go and search bless holy places where previous masters have trained their practices, in particularly shamatha. You know, you can find that in India, in Nepal, in Tibet, you know, in Himalayas, like that. So this is what we're talking about, dwelling in the appropriate area. In short, appropriate area where there's no you know, disturbances, you know, external disturbances, and have external, you know, conducive conditions for your retreat. In many of our case, in our time, in people who have a lot of, you know, responsibility at home, then your meditation room or your meditation sector can be your appropriate place, you know, where there's a less disturbance from rest of the family, where you feel, you know, easy to meditate, easy to get inspired, you know, whenever you go into the altar room, isn't it? Or corner of your one bedroom at the corner, you know, you set a meditation cushion and put a table there, and just looking at that, you know, you feel it's a conducive. So we cannot wait until that we get this all, you know, the maximum stage of conducive places. You know, we can start from our home, you know, as mentioned before, and start with training the you know, the prerequisites that from the 9 that as mentioned before, the number 9, start to train, focus on the mental image of Buddha's images or virtuous qualities, you know, you see. So the external condition can be in your prayer room, at home. Then the second condition is having little desire, which is one of most important. Having little desire. Then having little desire is talking more of the object, you know, having little things. Is talking about having little things, have less things, you know. Someone who want to do shamatha meditation have too many things to handle, it can be quite challenging, you know. Then the third one is being contented. So this one is being contented, which is important, you know. Whatever you have, be happy, you know. So we can train to we can start to train that, you know. We can start to train the first condition. We can start to train in the second condition, which is getting less and less things gathering. You know, we only buy things what we really need, otherwise don't buy. You know, we can start to train like that, isn't it? We buy so many things which we don't really need. Start with that. Then being contented, you know, at least train ourselves to appreciated what we have and feel enough what we have, about who you are, about your status, about your job, about your family, about your life, everything. You just feel that, okay, I'm in good shape, life is so impermanent, you know, really, really not certain whether I will still be alive in next moment or not. So whatever I have now is complete. So I start to train with that. Then the fourth one is completely giving up many activities. So someone who really want to go for shamatha retreat, then really have to give up all the activities, all our mundane activities, and even activities within the Dharma, even other Dharma activities, you see. So meaning that from the 6 paramita, you have to put aside about going for doing charity works, etc. You really have to focus, at least certain dedicated time to develop the shamatha. Then pure ethical discipline, most important, pure ethical discipline, pure conduct, which is extremely important. Then the number 6 is completely getting rid of thought of desire. So this is also desire, but it's more the subject side. The number 2 is having little desire, is talking about the object. Number 6 is talking about the mind, the mental thought. So not just having little desire of gathering things, but also have a little desire of urge, wanting from our heart. So there's 2 different things, you see. So we need to train from the both aspect, you see. Otherwise, our heart is not ready. Even though we put effort to get lesson of the material kind of gathering, but then our heart is still have so much of desire and urge, then is not good enough. So yeah. So dwelling in so remember this: dwelling in the appropriate place, having little desire, being content, completely giving up many activities, pure ethical discipline, and completely getting rid of thought of desire. So then the other the knowledge that we need to understand is how to now get to train in shamatha on the basis of this prerequisite that we have discussed. So that comes in the point of first one is preparation. So it's a preparation for the meditation, preparation for the retreat. Then the second one is talks about the actual practice. So the preparation is, it combined within the 6 practice of 6 paramita, six preparatory practice. So the Lama Tsongkhapa, emphasize that in the Lamrim Chemo, the 6 preparatory practice. So meaning, organizing proper retreat cushion, at least start with that, or retreat room or retreat hut. Then adorn with, appropriate offerings, which are the tool during the break of a session that you can accumulate merit in relation to that, like offering water bowl offerings, etc. To the object that you put up on the altar, like the object of refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha's representations. Then, in relation to that, during the post meditation of the shamatha, you can do prostrations, in order to purify negativities. Then you can also request, get inspired by the replica of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha on the altar to be just like them, and at the same time, then you request them to always, grant blessing to you, always remain until I achieve the full realization of shamatha. May the energy of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha remain with me, remain within this the retreat environment to help me, to inspire me, then always then request grant a sign, sign and the blessings, grant a sign of the blessings for me to stay put on the meditation until that you accomplish the realization, not to give up, you see, like that. So, so I'm just trying to translate from the general practice of 6 paramita. When you refer to that, then you translate in relation to the practice of shamatha, then you get to understand what exactly how to do the 6 paramita practice. So this is very important. So then the actual practice, when you, after all these prerequisites are done, then during the retreat, this 6 paramita practice you can in fact can do as a gathering of material conditions and also clearing of obstacles, that you can conduct this practice of 6 paramita before each meditation you conduct, before each meditation you conduct. So then after you complete the practice of 6 paramita, then now you sit down, you sit down in your meditation cushion. Then we need to talk about the meditation posture. So the meditation posture, generally recommend the 7 Vairocana meditation posture. So most of you already know, you do so many meditations, and I will not go through it. Time is already over. Yeah. So anyway, those of you, I will take little bit more time. Those of you who are busy, you have anything, you can leave anytime. Okay. Please go ahead. I will take little bit more time. Not too much, but a little bit more. Okay. So the meditation posture 7 Vairocana. But one thing good to know is any form of Buddha sitting posture that you can see in the picture, in the statue, all those are meditation posture. So whatever that you feel comfortable, you feel comfortable during meditation, you sit like a Tara, stretching right leg out, left leg bit stretch in. Why not? Then if you feel comfortable to do meditation while sitting on the chair, then Maitreya Buddha, Maitreya Buddha is sitting on the chair. So these are meditation posture. So like that. And I will give you another flexibility. It's very rare, but for some people, maybe meditation is so good when you are lying down. You are lying down. You're comfortably lying down. Then your concentration is so good, because you are sitting up and try to sit this and that. It becomes distraction to certain individual. So there's one story. There's one meditator who've been meditating, using the 7 meditation of Vairocana posture, and didn't gain any benefit from the meditation. So later he went to ask one of the senior meditator who has certain clairvoyance, and that the meditator says that your posture is wrong, your meditation posture is wrong. And he said, no, I've been using the normal general, there's a proper meditation posture. He said, no, you have your channels, because whenever we do meditation, our mind has to be affected, and our mind, the good or bad that affect to the mind also play a major role by the nervous system, our growth channel, nervous system, blood flow, etc. And that link to the subtle channel, which is invisible, but it is the element that the aggregate, the continuation came from our past lifetime, such as like mental aggregates. The continuation belong to the past life also, many past lifetimes, isn't it? From the day inception, there are only some aggregates, like form aggregates, not necessarily. There's a unbreak, thread of continuation that relate to the past life, but basic aggregates has
unbreakable thread of continuation all the way up to the inception of our beginning. So therefore, there's a lot of influence on the past life. So therefore, this meditator, his past life was a cow, cow. So cow always rests, when you rest, you lie down like that, isn't it? So your channels are very much affected like that. So when you do meditation, you lie down like a cow, you lie down, then you meditate. Then without much taking time, he gained the realization of meditation. So this is just an example, okay? So sometimes everybody talks about 7 Vipassana meditation posture. We thought that's the only way, and that is not easy. That is not easy, especially someone who has a physical difficulty, not easy. So this is important. The main purpose of the physical posture is to assist the mind to fulfill the purpose of meditation, not to be obstacle, not to drain the focus of your mind, So sometimes you try to sit cross-legged, you require a lot of focus to make sure that is happening, isn't it? So that's the point. So the meditation process is a nine stage. So I will just count them, okay? So again, you can refer to the Lamrim Chemo. So as I mentioned, that is the easiest text, you can find everything. Okay, the 9 stages of meditation, this is the process. When you do shamatha, these 9 labels are the one that you need to achieve gradually. So, okay, so just to refer to the name, the first one is called the mental placement. Second one is continuous placement. Third one is patch placement. Fourth one is close placement. Then fifth is taming. Then pacification. Then complete pacification. Then 8 is one-pointed attention. And 9 is a balance placement. Then, yeah. So the meaning of this this different mental state is very clear, very simple, very clear. That you can read the 3rd volume of the Lamrim Chemo in English translation on the page 73. So you can read that. Then, as I mentioned at the beginning, the one of the condition is the 6 forces or the 6 power. So the 6 powers are the power of hearing. In the Lamrim text, it says the force of hearing. So they also called power of hearing, the force of hearing, force of reflection, the force of mindfulness, and the force of vigilance, and the force of enthusiasm, and the force of acquaintance. So these are the 6 forces. So these 6 forces support the meditator to develop, gradually on the stages of the 9 level of the shamatha mind. Then I was also talking about another major condition is the 4 attention, remember? So the 4 attention, the detail you can read at page 78, the Lamrim Chemo, you can read on page 78. So the first, so in the Lamrim text, the attention, they use the word called focus. So same thing, yeah? So the first one is tight focus, second one's intermediate focus, and third one's uninterrupted focus, and the 4th one is spontaneous focus. So these are the 4 attentions or the 4 focus, which also assist together with the six forces to make sure antidotes are intact in order to eliminate the five faults, as Maitreya have discussed, eliminate the five faults throughout the 9 level of the karma biting mind to achieve the number 9, the result, the one-pointed or the shamatha realization. Yeah, so this is it. This is it. This is it. And you can also refer, which is good to know also the picture, the diagram that to have a basic understanding. Don't have time to explain detail, but just to, many of us very familiar with the picture. So in the picture, you can see the monk, the elephant, the monkey, the hare, and also there's a picture of fruits, like the object of the 5 senses. Then the monk holding the rope and the hook. Then after that, you can see, the monk is completely settled in the cave. In meditation, the elephant is also, completely resting. And then after that, you see the picture of the monk riding on the elephant. Then after that, the elephant and the monk returning back, holding the monk's hand, holding a sword. And there's one monk flying, So all these have a significance. And also the color, the elephant and the monkey and the hare, the color from the dark turning into a bright white, like that. So the monk represent the conditioning the practitioner start to stabilize, start to focus on the object of the inner meditation object, or in another word, it's called stabilizing the mind within. Okay, so that is the starting point. That's why, as I mentioned before, we can start to train, every day we start to use a mental image to start to stay focused, because up to now more of the sensual kind of focus. So that's a starting point. So when you start to go through the process of shamatha, you start from there. That's why the first starting is from there's also a house. There's also a house. House got so many windows, isn't it? The house, especially the picture with so many windows and big doors, and this is called, so much of our what do you call, the outward attentions, outward distractions. The sensual is talking about sensual, very much dominated by sensual focus and sensual distractions. So the monk come out of that is very much you are coming out of the sensual disturbances or sensual focus. You start to stabilize, to focus internally to the mental image. So this represents that. Then the monk holding rope is represent mindfulness. Then the hook represent introspection. In other words, attention and vigilant, like that. So then the elephant represent mind. The dark color of the elephant is representing the mental laxity, the dullness. Then the monkey represent the distraction, excitement. Yeah, excitement like that. Mm. Mm. And the fire represent the six forces. Mm. The fire from at the beginning is a huge fire, then getting smaller and smaller. So the intensity of the forces, the application of six forces, like that. Then like such as fruit, such as the water, such as the mirror and the music, so these are represent of the sensual distractions, sensual objects. Mm. 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 And also the curve, the fire represent the intensity of the forces, six forces, and the curve represent the six forces. Mm. And the hair or the rabbit, the hair represent the subtle, subtle laxity. Mm. Then the monk and the elephant resting, the monk is completely, actualize the mental stability, the 9 level of shamatha, that which the distracted mind, including the laxity, is completely subdued. The mind is completely become serviceable. That represented by the elephant, they completely become white and settle. Mm. Then the flying monk, the flying monk represent the result of karma biting or shamatha, which is the plancy of the body and mind. Means your body and mind become completely pacified and in bliss. There's no bondage of disturbances. That's why free. Then the mind, the riding on the elephant, going on the rainbow, is very much represent that what which you achieve, which is the after actualization of the entire 9 stages of the shamatha. Then the monk and the elephant returning back, holding the sword. The sword represent the special insight, the exalted wisdom, and union with the most serviceable shamatha mind. So it represents special insight. So like that. So the progress of this, 9 level of 9 stages of the mind is to achieve, the union of the karma biting and wisdom, which is to actualize the special insight, like that. Okay, so I will stop here. Yeah, so if anyone like to do homework, then you can read. You can read the Lamrim Chemo, the 3rd volume, the Shamatha section. At least these few pages that I recommend. In fact, there's a very lengthy, elaborate teaching on shamatha, but at least know those few points, and that will be helpful. Okay, like that. So, okay, thank you. So I think I will stop here. Yeah. Any questions? Otherwise, I will conclude here.
Geshe-la, I have a question.
Sure.
Geshe-la, in verse last week when you were talking in verse 8 about aspiration bodhicitta, verse 18,
Yeah.
you referred to 4 precepts.
Yeah.
That one which is thinking of the benefit of bodhicitta, always accumulating merit, never giving up. I missed out one of them. Could you, if you can, just share that?
Purification.
Okay.
I hope so. Yeah. Anyone remember what the 4 precepts? Okay. Then, any other questions?
I have a question, Geshe-la.
Sure.
You mentioned about when you come to the 9th stage, or you said that you have to move from the sensual to the mental.
Yeah.
And you gave the example of the Buddha and Om. And the question that is that I'd like to ask is, even at that 9th stage itself, we are in the mental only. We don't see the Buddha, no? We are only imagining a picture of the Buddha. Or there is a mental image only, no? There is no sensual image in the sense you don't see the person. Similarly, with Om, you don't see the Om, you only imagine the symbol of Om. So I don't understand what it means to move from the sensual to the mental, because we're already in the mental.
Yeah.
We are not,
okay. Here. Yes. Here, the mental image is talking about the wisdom of contemplation. Okay. Wisdom of contemplation. So there's a 3 process. So first, let's say Buddha's face, Buddha's face. First, you learn about the Buddha's face by looking at it, isn't it? Or reading or looking Buddha's, how he looked like, and also what he represent, etc. Then from there you gain a wisdom of knowing exactly how Buddha's face look like. Then after that, you deepen that imprint through contemplation process. So after contemplating, there's a sense of confirmation that you achieve in your mental understanding. Oh, Buddha's face is exactly like this. This is what I see. So in your understanding, that your understanding, the confirmed understanding in your heart through the process of learning about it, through by looking at it or reading, that wisdom is the object of the shamatha meditation, and that is called the mental image. So there are a bit of process, otherwise it's difficult to differentiate, because you look at something, you take a snap picture, and now you become a mental image, isn't it? But that mental image, that image is not a mental image of meditation. Not necessarily is qualified to be a object of meditation that we're talking about mental image. That could be just a very, what do you call? It is not something that stable enough that until that you have digest enough to the more subtle level of the mind. So this is what it's talking about, and there are benefit of doing so. To get to train more subtle level of mind, which is called the meditative mind. By doing so, it already kind of introduced to the more subtle level of the mind. So otherwise, we are using our mind, but very much superficial mind. Very easy to get distracted, very easy to get influenced by disturbances. You see, so the process itself of asking to use mental image, so this there's a benefit, there's a reason, and there's a process.
But you're supposed to be already in the 9th stage. So by then, I think the meditator has some stability.
Oh, your 9th stage. Someone
So
already achieved 9th stage, then no question. Then it's already good.
No, but you said that from the 9th to the 10th, you move from
No.
sensual to the mental.
Oh, sorry. Then I didn't understand your question. I didn't listen carefully your question before. Then I answered to the wrong. 9 to 10. There's no 10, but 10. There's no 10. 9 is the final. Then after that, you're already in the state of karma biting, or you're already in the state of completion of karma biting, which is shamatha, and that is the serviceable mind. Then there's no distraction, there's no disturbances. Whatever object you choose, you're able to achieve the full capability, the full benefit and full capacity of meditation and benefit, and even to emptiness. Not an ordinary object is so easy to focus. No question. But now here we're talking about emptiness. To stay stable focus on emptiness is not easy. But when you achieve the 9th stage, and that mind is called most serviceable mind. Serviceable to who? Serviceable to the usage of the exalted wisdom. There are many practitioners who realize emptiness before and not have done the shamatha also, the highest level of shamatha. It requires the higher perception as a cause to result the wisdom, and the wisdom here is talking about the special insight. So in order, you see, the 3 higher training: direct word, ethic, higher perception, the karma biting, then wisdom, emptiness. In order to realize emptiness, not necessarily you need to have shamatha mind. You see, but in order to have a special insight, you must need the shamatha mind, the shamatha mind. So even you realize emptiness, you cannot be effective to eradicate the obscuration to omniscient, the defilement. You need the special insight to eradicate the defilement to enlightenment. And that only can be done using the most serviceable, most powerful tool, the stable mind, which is the shamatha mind. So like that. I don't know whether I answer your question or not.
Oh, you were talking about moving from the sensual to the mental. That is where I was confused, because
that is my answer
the process
before.
itself is mental.
That one is what I answer at the initial one. That is answer for that. And that challenge happens before you even training into the stages of the 9 level of the mind, and one will struggle all the way up to the 8th level. You don't become fully qualified. You become fully qualified, clearing all those sensual disturbances is only after the 9. I mean, during the 7 and 8, you already achieve certain stability, but not perfected. So the perfection comes from the 9 level. Okay.
So there are 2 more questions.
Sure.
Archana, after Archana, Carla.
Yeah, Geshe, thank you for the teaching. I wanted to ask if the object we use for meditation on the breath, that is how we learn in the beginning and we progress. So can breath be used right up to 9 stages, or it is up to certain point you use breath and then switch to other object?
Yeah. So the breath is actually the used for the preliminary training. So before we even get to the actual serious dedicated training in shamatha, we train using the breath. You can train using the breath. Okay, this is the common from non-Buddhists and Buddhists, and common within the Mahayanic Dharma, as well as the Dharma of the individual liberation. But then still, this is just as a preparatory kind of training, because breath is already equipped within us. So therefore, at the initial stage, breath becomes the easiest to train to focus. So that's the only reason recommended. Otherwise, once you have a basic, basic foundation of a stability of initial stage of mind, then in Buddhist teaching, recommend to use virtuous object, because the breath itself by nature is not virtue, So so again, when we talk about virtue by nature or virtue by infused by intention. So if you still prefer to use breathing throughout your shamatha training, then before you do the breathing, you have to infuse by such as in the Mahayanic content, then by bodhicitta intention. So if you infuse by bodhicitta intention before you do each time the breathing, breathing as your object of meditation, then that become cause for liberation, cause for enlightenment, so there's a great benefit. So the by nature virtue is the Buddha's image, like Buddha's image or the sutra. So those are by nature is virtue. So by focusing on that, even you don't carry motivation, naturally you tend to accumulate merit. Yeah, breathing is emphasized in all teachings. The initial best object to get trained is through breathing.
And what about,
sorry.
What about mantra, Geshe-la? Mantra?
Yeah, mantra. Again, there are mantra from many different religions. But in Buddhist content, the mantra the mantra from the Buddhist content, from Buddhist perspective, Buddhist point of view, then those are by nature is virtue. So when you use mantra like syllable Om, is a common syllable Om is from non-Buddhist and Buddhist. You see, from Buddhist content of the syllable Om is one of the most powerful Dharma or the virtuous object by its nature. So when you focus on Om, is by itself, it helps to purify our body, speech, and mind. By itself, it helps to accumulate causes for Buddha's body, speech, and mind. So it's a very powerful object, like Om, or Ma, or Ni, Pe, Me, or just Hum, like that.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you.
Geshe-la, there are 2 more questions if you can take.
Okay, so you guide me. I'm totally fine.
Okay.
You stop me, okay?
Okay.
Welcome.
First is by Carla, and after that Dilshad.
Sure.
Thank you, Geshe-la. In relation to the 9 conditions referred in the collection of meditative stabilization chapter, the 9 conditions in the chapter, in the stabilization chapter, which is the difference or the relation between the first and the third, eliminating negative doings from body, speech, and mind, and strict moral discipline?
Oh, I see. One is reframing, and one is accumulation. So when you engage in a moral discipline, you accumulate the antidotes. When you focus on purification, is very much of reframing. So there's a difference. Purification. When you do purification, not necessarily you accumulate moral discipline. Not necessary. When you accumulate moral discipline, not necessarily you are directly, getting into purification. It has its own characteristic to define exactly what it is. Even though there's a lot of similarity, whenever you accumulate a moral ethic, naturally purification happens also. Whenever you do purification, naturally accumulate virtue also. But when you want to make it very, very specific, then it has its own, special characteristic. So from there, it's different. So here is very much talking about you should, observe as many ethics as possible. At the same time, you also put effort to purify as much as possible, negativities like that.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Geshe, last question of the day from Dilshad.
Sure. That's
Geshe,
okay. Sure.
if someone become a Buddha, does he or she can benefit all sentient beings, or the sentient beings need to create a karma to meet or to get benefit from Buddha?
Yes. Yeah. When you achieve Buddhahood, when anyone achieve Buddha is definitely benefiting all sentient beings all the time. There's not even one moment is not benefiting. But at the same time, to really to receive the benefit from the sentient being side, then sentient being have to accept the benefit. The way to accept is by creating conditions from the sentient being side. So it's like pouring water. Even the pouring water constantly happening, but you put the cup upside down, the water never will go inside the cup, isn't it? Even though the water is definitely pouring, you're not just thinking to pour, it's really pouring. But the water is able to receive it when the moment you put the cup up, then you get it. So, so that's one thing. So, and then another thing is whether we receive the benefit completely or effectively or not from Buddha's benefit is benefiting in the greatest degree, in the full degree, without any discrimination. And that benefit is affecting individual sentient being accordingly with how much capability of the interdependent resources that you have. But right now, some individual is not receiving the benefit, not fulfilling the benefit. It doesn't mean you are not receiving it. You're receiving it, but you're receiving it in many different ways of gathering the conducive conditions like that, So that's why Buddha's benefit to the sentient being provide with many different, skillful means, according with the mental disposition of sentient being, and even how cruel the person may be right now, Buddhas are still helping them. But because of their own the rejection on the virtue and a little conducive condition from their side is so much. That's why they're still caught up with so many wrongdoings. But Buddha's compassion, Buddha's benefits are still helping in some way, and this person also one day will achieve Buddhahood, even how cruel that person may be. So it's a very complex question.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. I think that all the questions are asked for this evening.
Okay.
And thank you so much for teaching on shamatha. And we'll do both the homeworks of reading and meditating.
Yeah. So thank you. So from my side, it's just like, very messy, and it's a big subject. It's no way to go so detailed. It's just a spark. It's like kind of lighting a light, little bit. And when you read something, like let's say the Lamrim, that text I introduced, then only you get to understand very clearly. Until then, the teacher's job very much like make you even, maybe sometime you may feel like make you more confused. There's so many things, So, but at least I cannot force anyone to do homework, but I really encourage to do homework. So then that way, it becomes very, very beneficial. Yeah. So thank you very much, and we dedicate in a we dedicate quickly. So in short, just dedicate like this. Whenever we accumulate merit, we dedicate, including any merit we accumulate through this course, in particular this session, dedicate just like how Buddha Manjushri, Buddha Chenrezig, Buddhist Manjushri, Buddhist Chenrezig, and Buddhist Samlanbhadra, how they dedicate, exactly like that, I dedicate that way. Chanjo semjo rinpoche maje panam kejuji jawani ba me bayang gone gondo pebajo toni dawa rinpoche maje panam kejuji jawani ba me bayang gone gondo pebajo rimni dawa rinpoche maje panam kejuji jawani ba me bayang gone gondo pebajo jambe baoji da chembada kudo sambo de ande shinji de da kunji su daro jawa de tamje rabdo to jo shebe jawa tamje de ngo gala chudo ngo daje jewe zawa de kunji sambo choje rabdo ngo wara ki Karerawe kowe shingane pendande wa mali chumene cherese mo tenzi jazo ishabe site bado tenjuro chi tobzo chanje jango jabe de jobebe kodo de chozon gobe lemeto do ba daso duje kondo shabden show. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
Sorry
Geshe-la.
for taking your extra time. Take care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Same to you. Take care.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.